opened up my heart. Happy holidays to you. There's some people in the RoxTalks community that say that I can't sing. And I know that that was not a very good rendition. But I have an excuse because in a celebration, the excuse is I'm sick, which if you know me, I don't get sick. That is not a Roxanne thing. I have been sick for 2.5 weeks, but like laid out for a week. Like it was coming. And for a week I've been laid out. And I can, frog in the throat, can finally say the last 2 days I have been able to like spend a full day not laying down. Wow, I need water. That was a lot.
So Scott has had a week of you not singing.
I didn't say that. Well, it's funny because he's always acts like he doesn't like when I sing, but then he puts on songs I like. And then they'll go, I thought you liked this song. I'm like, darling, I'm sick. I'm coughing. I cannot sing it, but I do enjoy it. So he does actually like me singing. You see how that works?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They hate on you for it, but then they're like, wait, I actually like
it. That's what, like he said. Yeah. Yeah. So, but what's interesting? It's not interesting to anyone who is a woman, but if you're not a woman and you're listening to this, it's interesting is when you're a woman and you're sick, nobody cares. I mean, they care, but they still want all the things you always get them.
Mm-hmm.
My dog doesn't give two rips if I'm sick. She wants her food. She wants her comfort. And honestly, my husband, while he cares and he's been so sweet, he still wants his food.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? Grown ass man. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it doesn't get better. I'm here to tell you.
Can't imagine with your two kitties when you're sick. They want you to feel better, but they don't care. I said to him, do you realize when I'm sick, because there are days I'll admit that I didn't shower. Like I didn't have the strength. And he was like, you haven't showered for like 2 days. And I said, you know why? Because the little energy I did have, I took and made your food because you're weird. You want a sick person to make your food. That's weird. I go, when you're sick, because he's the major cleaner of the place, I said, you don't clean. And when you're sick, you lay in bed and you just like, oh, I'm sick. And there's no cleaning that is done.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm sick, heaven forbid anyone has to eat, they still have to eat. What the heck?
Yeah. Don't even get me going because I got a good story from this summer and I'm just going to let it pass. I'm going to let it pass.
I feel like you're letting it pass because the emotions from it aren't fully gone.
Oh, yeah. It's a very salty wound.
What is that about? I know what there was a lot of delivery. I'll tell you that grocery delivery, food delivery, but I did some cooking. I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, so this is me better-ish. I feel like I do like a hey.
And do the deep, sultry voice.
Good, yeah. I can do some 900 numbers. Do they still have 900 numbers? I don't even know.
I don't call them, so I'm not the person to ask.
I don't call them either. I just know that they're a thing.
I'm sure they're still a thing.
Yeah, probably. Or there's some iteration of it now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Do you know that magazine, Playboy, doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they stopped it when he died, right?
Well, maybe, perhaps. That's amazing. Like, that tells you the iteration and the transformation of like magazines. The fact that magazines have just like I used to love reading magazines, not Playboy, but other magazines like 17 and Teen and Mademoiselle.
Cosmo.
And what was that? Was it In Style? The one that was kind of like, the one that was like,
oh yeah, there was one In Style. Yeah.
Well, and I Self magazine. There's a magazine called Lucky, all about shopping. But it's so interesting to me that magazines they've kind of died. A lot of them no longer print.
They don't, but ironically, I just bought my kids a magazine subscription for something so they can get like something in the mail and it's like about animals, Highlights magazine.
I was going to say, was it Highlights? That was my first magazine. I loved it. In the back, we had like, what's different? And you had to circle the things.
Yep.
Loved Highlights. Oh, that was the best. That's
still going. So I got an ad and I was like, oh my God, yes, I want something that's more like hands-on because we homeschool and everything is digital, like constantly. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go print it out myself. I want something to come to me.
You should talk to Grace. Why? She's with Paper Pie. And
Yeah.
her favorite thing with paper pie used to be Usborne books. For those of you like, what the heck is paper pie? Or activity books. And so they have like these books, like never get bored books and things that just, and also like the
Yeah.
white books and whatnot. Anyway, you should talk to her.
Yeah. I mean, I have ordered from her. I have books.
Oh yeah. I'll look with
It's,
you.
yeah. Please don't spam me, anyone.
I didn't say you should talk to everyone from paper pie. I said you talk to Grace. See what I did there? She's like, oh my gosh. And then I got tons
I'm
of
like, Roxanne, you're setting me up.
so anyhow, as we talk about this, so this time of year we usually talk about like our word of the year, and we've delayed a little bit because my brain has been so foggy. I'm like, I can't even think about tomorrow. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm gonna cough all night long. But today, this morning, I was laying in bed and I'm like, oh man, this is the day we're gonna talk about this. And I said, you know what, Roxanne, we're not gonna talk about the word of the year.
Oh, okay.
Y'all need to know, sidebar. My sweet, lovely, lovely co-host, Taryn, likes to know what's happening before we get on air.
I do.
And then there's days where I'm like, I know she wants to know, but I want her raw, like. So this is one of those days. So this is what I was thinking. In the trend, and we're in the Taylor Swift age. So why are we doing words? We should do eras. What is your era? So 2024 is your era of, now y'all listen, it's a word play. You could still, it still could be your word. But I loved these days saying like, rather than saying I'm in the whatever phase, I'm like, I'm in the something era. You know, I just think that's a cool way to say it.
Yeah.
So I thought, what if we say, what is our era? 2024 is the blah, blah, blah era of you.
Oh, see, I like to put thought into this. So like for me just to riff on one.
But it can still be your word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, you go first then.
Okay. So I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay. Because honestly, I think something's happening because I'm like, a word just doesn't cover what's happening to me right now. Because I'm right in, I would say, what era am I in right now? The end of 2023. I'm in my cocoon era. And so I think that my era for 2024 is going to be, and I was going back and forth, but I think it's my blossom era. I was going to say butterfly, but it's kind of the same. So I might use those interchangeably, but it's like I've been cocooning, you know, and you get the caterpillar and the caterpillars, they're cocooning and all these things are happening. And I'm about to like, and just like a peony on like opens, because you know I love peonies. Like I'm in my peony era. That's my era. My peony
there you go.
era. It's like not the bud, but the peony, like
yes.
That's my era.
So what does that entail in 2024? What does that mean?
Well, here's the deal. I think we told you a few weeks ago that I'm moving. The move has gotten moved up. So I'm moving the end of 2023. So literally we will be, and because we're not going to the Rose Bowl for the first time in like, I don't know, NCAA has just ruined my traditions, but we'll get like, NCAA has ruined all the traditions and all that. And the Pac-12, it's not a Pac-12 year. And now with all the different transitions, the last year I'll have gone to the Rose Bowl in the iteration and the beautifulness that the Rose Bowl has been was last year. It's like an,
and you didn't even know.
Over. No, we knew.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Every few years it's a championship game, like playoff game, and those years we don't get to go because it's not a Pac-12 game. But now that the Pac-12 is like defunct, there won't be that tradition anymore. It's just so sad. And again. Now ASU is going to the Big 12. So I'm hoping we get to go to the Orange Bowl or something. I'm not Orange Cotton Bowl, but we'll see. Anyhow, all that to say, that Rose Bowl era has gone away.
It's ended.
Which is so sad. But the cool thing is we will be turning the page of the year. Like literally, I think we should go to our house, like our new house, and like do it there. Although we won't have everything in it and stuff, but that will be turning and like we'll be there. So that's kind of a cool, like, okay, we got married this year, doing all these things. So that's number one. I'm going to definitely, I know part of my peony era is just like sharing more about my life. I feel like I have done less of that over the last few years, and you're going to see more of that on social. I don't know if that means I'm going to do 2 Instagram accounts. Y'all, that drives me insane, but I might do 2. I might kind of just double post and see what happens, and then kind of play around with it, which is so you're going to see a lot of like the growth and transition, because some people might not want to hear what's going on in my life, and I understand that, but anyhow, you can scroll past those. So you're going to see a lot of that. You may see an additional podcast come out of me the next year. You asked, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of, if you ever wanted to know, like, unpeel the onion of Roxanne, you're going to see it next year. This is my peony season, my peony era. So
era.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Okay. I've thought through mine a little bit, and we can kind of develop it here live.
Like I just did. Yes.
So I was stuck between 2 words.
Tell us.
And they go together. So one word was going to be becoming, because this past year, 2023, in reflection, has been a lot of change, right? Like I officially launched my podcast business side of things like in the end of 2022, but it's like grown through 2023. I now consider myself like a business, whereas I used to call it like my job, and now I'm like, no, like this is my business. So that's evolved. We started homeschooling. We moved. We now live in Tennessee. Like we travel more. Like there's just been a lot of changes and things that I was kind of cutting ties. And I'm like becoming more Taryn, and what that means, and not what other people think Taryn means. Right. But then the other word I was going with was maybe even release, and having it be more of like a surrender, because there's other things like I want to release through the next
I'm
year.
sorry, go back, because you said this year was change, but what was the first word?
Becoming.
That's right, becoming. Okay, and then the other one is letting go. Okay, carry on, sorry.
Yes. So last year my word was mindful. That's how I got through. That's how I made a lot of decisions. I sat down and I thought through them and like was very mindful about them. And so then next year I'm thinking it's like either becoming or releasing. And what would that era be? The era of Taryn.
Ooh. I like, well, I mean, it's your choice. I like becoming, because I think becoming encapsulates letting some things go. But it also talks about your growth and not like
it feels more positive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then if it's the era of Taryn, then that's you becoming. What is Taryn becoming?
Taryn is, I don't know. Let me ask. I got a journal on that question.
Oh. You don't need to know the answer.
Yeah. No, and I don't think I do. I think that's just what's going to guide me through the year. But like some big things that I'm putting into place right now to be able to then make sure 2024 is good and I'm becoming is I have a financial coach that I brought on. Nice. I also brought on an accountant to my team. So it's like the finance things are just like all getting crystal clear, and I'm being like thoughtful with my money. And I want to start shifting next year of like with the thought of building wealth.
Nice. Are you using the Wedmore guy? I can't remember his name. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, it's a woman.
Oh. Why would I think otherwise with you, actually, honestly?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever hired a man.
No, I don't know if it's a woman energy that you exude that extracts that, but it might be. But you're my, like, when I think about your team, this is not actually what y'all do, but I could see you all frolicking in the woods like you did when you went and did your nymph stuff. Like it's very like feminine energy. That's a compliment.
Yeah. I think I've lived a lot in the masculine energy. So that's interesting you say that. And maybe that is why I then attract other or I end up going towards other women because I didn't know what that energy was. Yeah. And so then I tend to work, but like I only work with females.
I know.
And my mission is to really impact women And how can I impact women on a big scale is by working with powerful women like Roxanne and, you know, other
Mm.
women who then have so many women in their community. So
Yeah, don't forget the great Megan Summerall. We can name this thing.
yes.
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 Um, so ooh, I like this. So it's the era of Taryn, becoming.
The era of becoming Taryn.
Oh, the becoming Taryn era.
Unapologetically Taryn.
Oh, yes. But I think that's an important word because I think that we are so good at checking ourselves and making sure that what we are, what we do, what we say is okay for everybody else, that we don't fully become ourselves because we're worried about what it's going to, how it's going to impact other people. I'm not saying be an asshole, y'all. I'm not saying that, but I mean, like,
oh no,
but I mean, but you know what? If you are one, maybe you should be one because that'd be unapologetically you. So
yes,
I like that. There's like a shedding and a growth that is very cool that I think is needed, and I'm excited about that.
I feel like we're both having like big, like blossoming years.
Totally.
You
And
know, a lot
I'm
of
seeing that with a
change.
lot of my friends. Like, a friend of mine asked me just the other day, she was like, okay, I feel this change. Are you worried that you don't see the nuts and bolts, or are you worried that you're going to be focused on like the way that I'm going to get to XYZ? Which, by the way, my big plan is like, y'all, I have been for 20 years. No, it's not been 20 years. Let's see, 16, 17, 18 years. I've said that I want my own talk show. I've said that for 17, 18 years. And it bubbles up and it goes down, and it bubbles up and goes down. And I know that the reason that it hasn't happened is because I'm so fixated on the how. And I cannot see the how, so it has not happened. Where like my actual inner being knows, like if you look at like my design as a human, the how is not important.
No.
It isn't important. But I've been so hung up on the how that I either don't see the how, or I'm like, okay, this must be the way to do it, that I get so sidetracked and like fixated on this niche or whatever it is, or I just don't believe that I can do it. And I'm tired of that bullshit. I'm over it. I'm over it. You know, Scott always says, we moved to California because I knew it'd be great for you to get an agent, you'd get your show. And I'm like, well, first of all, darling, we moved to Orange County. Like when you say we moved it, like they're all
like
up
we didn't go to
there.
LA.
It's not the same. It's not the same. But secondly, it's like I don't know how to break in. And I think as every moment goes by, I feel like that's a harder and harder thing. So it's interesting that we're leaving, and in us leaving and going to Arizona, I feel like the opportunity to do the thing is actually, I have a better opportunity, which is interesting.
I think because it's just shifting the energy. You're getting out of the energy of, you know, it wasn't happening in California, you know, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like a new chapter and it's like, wait a second, can I bring this goal with me? I want to bring it with.
Yeah. Like, and I'm gonna, and there's something about moving to that house, which is basically gonna be a shell. We're basically getting rid of everything. We're gonna build, we're going to work how room by room, and like do one room, and we're starting with the bedroom. And I feel like the house is a shell, and we can craft it to be whatever we want it to be. And so I'm excited about that. And that blank canvas makes me super excited about that. What comes from that. So
oh my God, it's so fun. I can only speak. We didn't do like a fully redesign, but like moving to Nashville, we got rid of so much stuff. And it feels like so many people kept being like, are you sure you're getting rid of that? Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. And it's like, no, with this, it's actually like I felt like I was shedding myself.
Yeah.
And like untying yourself from like things and old things that maybe defined you. And it's like, I'm not bringing it with.
Exactly. And then, okay, I have a canvas of blank. Okay, well, now we're going to build this out. And it just feels very apropos. Like, I just feel really good about it. So that's why I'm like, this is like, get ready because here we come. It's happening.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys, this will be fun for you guys to follow along through the year and see what happens. But I'm curious too, like what everyone else is. If this is kind of like a collective? Do a lot of people feel this like big change, or maybe your word is something, not so huge, and that's okay too. Like I've had years where it's like, I'm just going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Maybe it's like status quo. Maybe it's your status quo era. Or maybe you're loving your era right now so much, like, I want to stay where I am. This is awesome. Let's stick here.
Part 2, world tour now.
That's right. Yeah. Ta-da. Now I got my movie. We're going to stay in that era. It all works. There's no right or wrong, but I would love to know what that era is. And you might, hopefully this conversation has helped you like think about it if you haven't thought about it already. It's funny. I don't remember my word from this year at all. Don't know what it is. You gotta go back and listen to the podcast.
So we had epic for 2022, right? Or was that 2023?
I don't know. No clue.
No. Epic was 2022. We did some epic things. And then, what was, you'll have to listen to that episode.
Clue. No,
it didn't carry through.
It didn't, or maybe it did, but it was a silent hum and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah. Oh, mine totally pulled me through the whole year. It was pretty cool.
I need to look back. I have no recollection.
Yeah.
I
love doing word of the year. And another thing, and I will contribute this to Megan Summerall. She does every year in her Planapalooza, like you get a workbook, and it's actually sitting right up here if you're watching the video. But in one of the sections, she has you write a letter to you where you're kind of writing it from the sense of like the end of the year next year and like what you're accomplishing. And it's pretty powerful. So now that I'm leaning into this era, I'm excited to write my letter because I haven't done it yet.
You have time. It's okay. Good. You're good. We would love to know what era you are in. So definitely message us. You'll see this podcast snippet on the RoxTalks Instagram page. Drop the comment. We want to know what is your era, and we want to enjoy that era with you as you tour it around 2024.
See you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.